Well, it's week 6 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienor. I'm joined right now by PoE, Power of Evil himself from FlyQuest. He's in a dark room. Uh, can't
The
see much of
curtains are
him.
closed.
He's in a witness protection program, I think. We don't really know
True.
if that's him. But either way, how's it going, PoE?
It's going good. I have all the curtains closed, so there's no sun coming in onto my
Yes.
screen, having full protection.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have you moved? Did you move?
Well, I moved a while ago,
Okay.
so Turtle left the gaming house and went into like in a to an apartment with some friends. I think it was
Okay.
Smoothie or someone, and so I moved over to his room, and now I'm in this room.
Okay. Yeah, you have a different layout than he did because it definitely, I did not see
Yeah,
this background previously.
yeah,
Well,
he's like in the office room before, but I'm not using that.
you guys just beat you guys just beat TSM. You versus Bjergsen, the rivalry reignited. I don't know if I can say that, but I mean that was a classic, right? PoE and Bjergsen for a long time, and here it is, you beating him again after all this time, I guess.
No, for sure. Obviously, like Igna's really onto this like TSM train too. We need to beat them. We need to win against TSM. We need to keep the record against them up, Tristan. He's really hyping that up, and obviously it motivates a lot. And I'm happy. I think it was a really important win too, since now with the 2-0, that means if we ever get into a tiebreaker situation or anything, that like there wouldn't be one, right? Since we have the 2-0 record against them.
Well, we were just talking about. I was critiquing that game and saying that it was not particularly that exciting, and I feel like you were about to defend it, but I just want to read off this tweet from Mark, who
Mhm.
wrote 6 kills and 6 point K gold lead at 13 minutes. 2 more kills from 13 to 33 minutes. How to make utter domination feel so boring. So I guess that was kind of the point. Is like, it's funny because I feel like, yeah, by the 13-minute mark we were like, okay, this game is maybe kind of done, and then it took it took quite some time for it to close out. It was kind of slow from that point. Oh, not slow, but just uneventful.
Okay, so from my view, we're playing a really, really strong early game comp, right? We have the Pantheon,
Yeah,
we have the Ashe, and the Renekton. These champions are getting outscaled really, really fast, and we got this really exploding early game, but we got all these kills, all these objectives, and I think we did a really great job. But I think we lost the first dragon, I don't remember if we lost the first two, but we lost like the first dragons for
yeah,
sure. And that obviously really stalls it for us right now. Then we need to decide, are we gonna completely flip the game, right? Like are we just gonna keep having these explosive like flippy engages fights, or are we just gonna play it like kind of cool? Are we gonna just play it like the dragon game, take these fights at the dragon area, and just play for the soul point? Mm, I feel like in the last games we played in LCS, we didn't have the strongest performances. I felt like a lot of times we overforced, or we would like be winning the fight, but then we would keep running into them and dying. And I think we had like certain situations this game having that too, but I feel like we did a way better job at it. I feel like a good example of us doing the same mistake again was around like the dragon that I stole. I think we were like
yeah.
6, 7 gold up, but we really like went way too deep. We lost the fight. We needed to steal the dragon, and then I think on the ocean soul point actually we played it like perfectly. We just played for the soul like 50-50 slash fight, and then as soon as we got it, we didn't keep chasing into the Orion into the Senna. We just peeled back to the Baron, just got a free Baron, and I feel like last week I don't think we would have done that well.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had a pretty decent lose streak going for a little bit before this,
Yeah,
you know?
I think three games in a row.
Yeah. So what happened now? What has changed that allowed you guys to look so dominant that game?
Well, one, I feel like they had like I think if Olaf fell behind this game, it was really hard for their top side to play the game. So as soon as we killed him and then we killed him again and blew up, I felt like they didn't really have any tools. Like I just perma pushed mid lane pretty much every wave. I just roamed top. We snowballed the Renekton insanely far ahead, and at this point, I think with the Ashe and the Pantheon, we got like a lot of kills too. I think we just played it really good. I feel like we had like the really, really strong early game. We played a good around. The mid game we definitely need to clean it up a little bit more. We didn't get many kills, but I feel like we still got we got like this gold lead higher and higher since we got the inner turrets, we took the jungle camps, like we kind of starved them, in a sense.
Yeah.
I definitely think we could have played it faster, and I think it's a good game to review since you can really easily see how could we have snowballed faster. Maybe we should have taken like a tower death here and there. But I think it's a good game to learn from.
Yeah. Well, I feel like every week the storyline has changed for me, or my understanding of the LCS is different. I think after week 4, I was like, okay, maybe. I think early on, I thought, okay, we've got C9, then we've got like FlyQuest, EGTL, all duking it out to see who's good, TSM potentially, and then everybody just started looking like shit, and like
Sure.
the bottom team started picking up wins. And now I don't even know what to believe anymore because like C9 started losing. They've lost their last 2 games. Dig is on a 3-game win streak. I mean, obviously a lot of this I think is teams making mid-split changes to try to improve their chances. But how do you view all the different teams? Like in your mind, do you have like a stack rank of teams that are good and bad, or is it as convoluted as it is for me?
So I think I remember watching the Krabs interview, like I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and I remember him saying something like, right now it feels like the meta is really like if a team snowballs, it's really hard to come back, and you kind of just play it out slowly. And I feel like this was the name of the game in our last game's example. I felt like after the early game, there was no way of TSM to come back unless we throw it to them, kind of. And I feel like currently, like if you do that, like if you have a bad early game or you have like this like bad draft or like a 50-50 draft and the like bottom team gets that strong early game, they can easily just snowball through it, right? You can see that like in the Hana Thieves game against Cloud9 or today's in the EG game. I feel like they just like got like the little lead and then they just snowballed it and they didn't really give the control back, you know? And I think that's kind of how I feel like the bottom teams are getting a lot of wins. And obviously, like I feel like you should never underestimate an opponent. So right now it's definitely scary for every team. I feel like every team can beat everyone. That's kind of how it feels, and
Yeah.
you need to be aware of that, you know.
So is that it? You think it just a lot of the instability that we're seeing in the league right now feels like it's coming from like this crazy snowballing meta?
I feel like it's just with these comps right now, where like Syndra, Oriana's, like even Arceus, like if these champions get ahead, it's really hard to like come back against them. Like the same as like obviously 200 years Aphelios and stuff. Like these champions like are just like when they get ahead, you need to like play perfectly, get this like 5-man engage on him. Like you need to pretty much see him through the whole duration until he actually dies. Otherwise, like you know, he like suddenly like one-shots the entire team, right? And I think this is kind of how it is right now. Before it was like Akali, Aurelia, like Kiana, where it's like if these assassins do mistake themselves or if they like you do a good combo onto them, like in like you know like an Alistar combo one shot, like you instantly can win the fight, right? And the opposite, if the Akali like one shots your AD carry, like you instantly win the fight, right? Like there's a lot of swings and like I feel like turnarounds, and right now it's a little bit harder to do that, I think.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's gonna lead to this. Do you anticipate the meta changing and perhaps like a world where we start to feel like it's easier to shake out what teams are superior and it's less about the snowball effect?
I think always like during the end of the split, you normally see like obviously like the standings normally show most of it, but throughout my experience, it really doesn't really matter like where you end up in the playoffs. It's more like, are you ready to beat everyone, right? And
Yeah.
throughout my career, I made playoffs a lot of times as like 5th or 6th place team, and ended up like going to finals or going to the 3rd place match. And I think that is kind of like the important thing, right? Like you hit playoffs, are you ready to beat them all?
Yeah. Well, are you guys going to be ready?
Hopefully. We still need to prove. I think we still have stuff to work on, but I think today looked a lot better than last week, so I'm really happy about that. And tomorrow it's gonna be another hard day. We're gonna face Cloud9, but maybe we can do the EG or the Hanafi's miracle, beat them,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
if
I think we're on a really
CDAC
good
goes
spot.
out of 3, you're facing them at the right time in some sense, right? I don't know if it's the right
That's
time
true,
or
that's
the
true.
wrong time. I don't know if they're going to be like, holy crap, pick everything super safe, everything we can.
Play the
We just
best
lost 2
champions
in
on
a
every
row.
role.
Or if they're going to be like all shook and this is your moment. It's like, great, they're on the ground. This is our chance.
Yeah, we will
funny.
see, we will see.
Yeah.
Like I think we are not like afraid of them. I think we're just gonna try to play our game again, but obviously you need to respect them. They're still like probably like the best team in the league, so
Yeah.
need to watch out for them.
Well, I guess we'll see how things go. Anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Well, I'm happy that we could turn around and break the losing streak. Hopefully we can keep it up during next weeks, and hopefully you guys believe in us tomorrow against C9.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the interview, PoE. For everybody else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. You might not know this, but in ancient civilizations, one of the most important groups of people were the scribes. And while they actually received a ton of attention, the people that worked directly underneath them, it turns out, did most of the work. That's right, the subscribes, which is why I'm asking you to help me out in celebrating those people by subscribing to my YouTube channel. You could do that right below or whatever. Yeah, there's a ton of ways to subscribe on YouTube. Just please do me a favor. I'm trying to figure out how many people I can get to subscribe off of the just shouting it out at the back end of these videos so I can take a look at the statistics. Also, back then, a very important group of people, aliens. That's right, aliens in ancient civilization. Please help me honor the aliens by checking out alienware.com/Travis and using the code TravisTedOffQ2 to save great value, tons of great stuff on tons of great stuff on Alienware's website. They make desktops, monitors, all sorts of cool product. And again, you can save Travis 10 off Q2, 10% off your order. Thank you so much for subscribing and checking out Alienware.